Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's major decision on the status of Xinjiang was the latest denunciation of the Chinese Communist Party's human rights abuses. This also marked a remarkable milestone in the whistleblower movement's efforts to challenge CCP's evil rule in the People's Republic of China. Tuesday, January 19, 2021, marked the last full day of Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in office. Secretary Pompeo released a long-awaited decision on the status of Xinjiang, China's westernmost region, and asserting that the CCP is committing genocide and crime against humanity. This decision has been made based on extensive evidence gathered since 2017 regarding CCP's heavy-handed rule in the region, including internment camps, forced sterilization, forced abortion, and coercive family planning. Undoubtedly, this decision lays the groundwork in the China policy under the Biden administration. State Department's decision also marks a major milestone for the achievement of the whistleblower movement backed by the Chinese diaspora. As a trailblazer of the whistleblower movement, Mr. Wen Guiguo, aka Miles Guo, first appeared in the interviews and YouTube in 2017. He had only one goal in mind, exposing the corruption of high-level CCP officials and calling for rule of law and democracy in China. His initial efforts were not understood or even questioned by some. Several news outlets ran a few reports on Guo and gave him different labels. The Chinese billionaire, fugitive tycoon, exiled billionaire whistleblower, to name just a few. Yet Guo's campaign continues and has rallied numerous like-minded supporters who understand and appreciate the authenticity and genuine intention of his ongoing exposure on CCP's evil and inhuman rule in PRC, among which the recent brutal crackdown on the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong. To this day, the world has come to understand Guo's severe warnings better on the imminent dangers for the United States and the rest of the international community inflicted by the authoritarian and atheist CCP regime. As one of America's condemnations against the CCP, this genocide decision is a consensus among American politicians and will inevitably trigger a series of follow-up measures by the newly inaugurated Biden administration and other domestic allies. Among Biden's cabinet members, Antony Blinken, Biden's pick for Secretary of State, stated on Tuesday that he agreed with the genocide declaration during a Senate confirmation hearing. Similarly, Biden's nominee for Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, also said, "I do support an aggressive stance in a sense to deal with the challenge that we're facing." Acting Secretary of Defense David Norquist, a hopeful candidate for Secretary of Defense, recognized China and Russia as near-peer threats. Further, Treasury Secretary nominee Janet Yellen, on her Senate confirmation hearing Tuesday, maintained that China is America's most important strategic competitor, and indicated that the incoming Biden administration is prepared to use the full array of tools to address China's illegal practices. As participants amid this unprecedented whistleblower movement, we warmly welcome the above statements on China made by members of the Biden administration, individuals and organizations that call out on CCP's evil deeds and stand with innocent Chinese citizens are our alliance and friends. It is in the benefit of the United States, American businesses, and citizens to continue to uphold and safeguard universal values, including the rule of law, democracy, and liberty in the global village. A democratic and rule-following China will contribute to a speedy recovery from the pandemic and future prosperity of the international community in the long run.